All right, what's poppin', man?
What's poppin'?
I will tell you what's poppin'. Got some Lost Boys community shout outs to start off with. Kicking it off with Pentelectual Conversations. As you may assume by the title, that is a podcast for poets and conversations. It is on YouTube every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. It is hosted by my man Pakram the Poet. And stay tuned because he will be on right after this. You can find him on Insta at that's DA, the real Pakram, the underscore real underscore Pakram, and then the same thing for TikTok, and then on Facebook, Pakram the Poet. Next, we got New Eurekan Poets Cafe. That's an online show that is on YouTube, but it is hosted through Zoom, I believe. And that is every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, and it is hosted by Elemental the Poet. Love Elemental, love his work. Definitely going to get him back on the show. Some of you might remember him. Go check him out. Then we have the Poetry Life League, who is continuing their competition. Your votes fucking worked, Lady Crucible. Won round one, so thank you for voting to anyone who voted for Lady Crucible. She's going to go into round two, going on August 16th. I believe it will be airing August 17th. So make sure you guys keep the voting going and go check out our girl, Lady Crucible, for round two in Poetry Life League. Next up, we got Bars Battle Rap League, and that's hosted by Tom Bland. We've mentioned him on, I think, the past two What's Poppin' episodes. He's going to be a guest on the show pretty soon. Can't wait to see what he's got to spit on the show. But if you want to go check him out and see what he's spitting online, you can go to YouTube and Facebook. BARZ Battle Rap League. Next up, we have the Immersive Experience podcast, and that's hosted by Miss Desi Lou, one of our favorite guests and members of the community. I've been posting some clips lately, so go check out both my YouTube for the clips of her poetry and then her YouTube for the Immersive Experience, and her Facebook at DESILU. That's Desi Lou. Now, next up, we have my boy Cage C, which I believe he might be popping in for a surprise. I guess it's not a surprise anymore. Yeah, he might be popping in, drop a couple bars on us. But if you guys want to go check him out after you see him here and you like what you can find him on Facebook at Caleb Cooksey and on TikTok at CageC790. And then if you like our Lost Boys artwork, obviously the normal artwork, that was done by our girl Skedaddle. And she is a commission artist who does both physical and digital art. If you want to find her or commission her, you can find her on Insta at x.skedaddle.art.x. So make sure you go check her out. Obviously, one of my favorite artists and the official artist of the Lost Boys. Next up, we have Miss Neela McSwain, who is coming up on an episode. You can go to our Facebook page, the Lost Boys Facebook page. She posts almost daily, multiple times a day. And you can also go to her TikTok at PoetryRose42 and Insta at PoetryRose1. And joining Miss McSwain for that episode, we had Poetless Shakespeare. And if you like the clips that I'll be posting, you can go check out her books on Amazon, DNA and DNA The Results. That is book one and book two. Dope ass poet. Make sure you go check her out. Next, we have Mr. Exoskeleton. You can find him on SoundCloud at exo_skeleton, at EXO skeleton, and on YouTube at r.e.d design, spelled DESYGNZ. He does it all, man. He writes, he raps, he produces beats, he makes 3D printouts, all his own merch. He's got it all going on. So make sure you go check out all of the shit he's got going on, and hopefully we'll have him back on the show very soon. And then we also have my boy James Hamilton, touring national spoken word nominated poet that we've had on multiple times. You can go find him on Facebook at James Hamilton, on YouTube at James Hamilton 8243, on Insta at James Hamilton Author. And if you're in the LA area, in September, he will be touring and hitting all the big venues. And then he also has a busker pass for Santa Monica Boulevard. So make sure you go check him out on Santa Monica Boulevard or in LA area in September. And if you're in Montana, go check out the OCA Arts Center in Bell, Montana. He will be doing an open mic December 6th, and that is at 7 p.m. Eastern. He also does have one little project that he's working on that I don't have much information on it, so I'm not going to speak on it too much, but this is what has been posted to his Facebook page, so this is the information I have for you currently. But right now, James Hamilton and WBOM Streaming Radio are working on a collaboration project, which is going to be, as you see before you, Versed Poetry Radio. It is cutting edge poetry and interviews from a curated group of Midwest artists. And I will have more news for you very shortly, probably by the next What's Poppin' segment, so keep a lookout for that. Moving on, we have Mr. Chris Clark, dope-ass poet. He's been on multiple times before. He has a new poem out right now on YouTube called Death as a Girlfriend. Fantastic fucking poem, fantastic fucking artist. I'm in contact with him right now. We're trying to schedule a date for him to come on. But if you like his YouTube or you like past episodes, if you remember him from past episodes, make sure you go check him out on TikTok at The Poetic One. That's the number 1. YouTube at Poetic Excursions. Insta at The Poetic 1Z. And yeah, like I said, the new poem is out on that Poetic Excursions YouTube channel right now. Next up, we have somebody that my man Pakram actually recently introduced me to, who I'm in contact with to come on the show later, I believe, in September. Souls Ink Pen. I've listened to a little bit of his shit. I really like what I hear so far, and I can't wait to have him on. You guys should definitely go check him out. He's on all platforms except for Apple and iTunes, anything that's associated with Apple. He's not on those platforms, but everything else, Spotify, YouTube, all that. He's got a new album out right now called Living Off Various Emotions While Assisting Delusions. Like I said, that's on all platforms, so make sure you go check that out. And then we also have our girl PR Infidel, who has her books about anthropomorphic animals who uncover government secrets and conspiracies and tear their whole system down. So if you like that kind of shit, go check out Tales of American Idiocy and Conspiracy Crew, The End is Meow. Yes, The End is Meow. On Amazon. Go check that out. And she has a new book coming very soon, which I have the artwork for, called Spirits of Suddenly. So make sure you go check that out. Moving on. If you don't remember Beelzebub or Beelzy, she is a faceless artist, and she has some of the most deep, heart-wrenching, and intellectual poetry that I've ever had the privilege of hearing or reading. Make sure you guys go check her out on Facebook at Beelzy Poetry, on Instagram, Beelzebub, BELZEBUB _Montgomery, and then her books on Amazon are Nightgowns and Other War Memorabilia and Hive Mind of Maggots. We also have another author friend who has come on the show before. She is not only an author, but also an editor and a publisher, Miss Elizabeth Suggs. She's got a link tree. You can go visit Elizabeth Suggs author on all platforms. She's got an editing firm that she is the founder of. It's called editingme, spelled with 2e's.com. And then she is the co-owner of Collective Tale Publishing. And she is the founder of the LUW Romance Writers chapter of that publishing firm. Make sure you go check out everything she's got going on. She actually has our podcast posted up on her link tree as one of her media appearances that she's done, which is really fucking cool. So I do it with quotations because I don't feel like a media outlet, but I guess I'm currently doing a news segment, so if the shoe fits, right? Next we have my man Robert Foster, another author friend. He's got some horror fantasy type work. It's out on Amazon right now. There's Crag Island. We've gotten that wrong on past episodes. I noticed we called it Craig when I was editing, so I wanted to correct that. But Crag Island, it's a book about a island prison like Alcatraz for supernatural creatures. I bought it. I really like what I've read so far, and I'm going to read more, so make sure you guys go check that out. His other book is Morgan's Mount, so make sure you go check that out. And then Chris Foster, no relation to Robert Foster, has a class called Breaking Barriers, which is a writer's class on how to handle writer's block, and it is live on Instagram weekly. That is from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern. He has a new poetry book coming out soon on August 19th called No Label Authentic Poetry. So keep a lookout for that. And you can go check out Chris Foster on Insta at Original Poetry. That's poetry spelled Poetree, like a tree. And then on Linktree at Poetry Roots, spelled with a Z. Now, just some quick music mentions before we wrap up our What's Poppin' segment here. I tried to curate a list of indie artists that not a lot of people may know, but that you should check out and that you should know. Some of them I'm actually in contact with to come on the show, such as Pointless Culture. In their own words, they are a punk alternative melodic grunge band who has a new album out right now called Better Off Dead. And I'll tell you what, I've listened to it on repeat like 10 times. I'm jamming with it. Seriously, give it a try. Listen to it at least once all the way through. Some good shit on there. Really good shit on there. They're out on all streaming platforms, and I am in contact with them right now to come on the show. They are actually from New Hampshire, so make sure you go check them out and give them a listen. We have the Diva Jazz Project, which is a jazz band that I am in contact with to come on the show. You can go check them out on Spotify. We have Crescendo's Gate, which is an alternative rock band that I have been seeing at multiple festivals around New Hampshire throughout the last 4 or 5 years. And I just now got the nerve to hit them up and be like, hey, you want to come on my show? And they actually do want to come on my show. So we're in contact to make that happen. So make sure you guys go check out Crescendo's Gate on YouTube and Spotify. They have an album called The CG EP. And then we have Hazel Bloom, which is an emo alt pop mix. He is a self-proclaimed mental health advocate. He is from Worcester, Mass. He's got a new album out called Dissociative Memories, and that's on all platforms. And he is actually giving out free signed copies of that album. All you have to do is cover the shipping of the physical copy. You can go find all of that on hazelbloomofficial.com. You can find him on TikTok at hazelbloommusic. And then he also has something that he calls Club Emotion. Basically, it is a newsletter with his fans, but it is also, the way he describes it, a collective of people a lot like this, actually. And that's why it caught my eye. He says, if there's one thing I love most, that's good times with friends and family, getting together to celebrate life, love, and amazing memories. And that's exactly what Club Emotion is about. I think we are all searching for something to be part of, something that makes us feel like we belong. Whether you like to have a good time, want to share your feelings, or just share your love of music, you belong here. You get access to unreleased music, giveaways, deep dives, all that kind of stuff. But that caught my eye because it was very similar to the sentiment that we hold here. So go check him out. And then we have Caroline Dare, who is a indie pop singer-songwriter from Nashville. She's actually produced by Nick Wheeler. If you don't know who Nick Wheeler is, he is from the band All American Rejects. You might have heard the song Gives You Hell. So he's producing her, but she is very small time, and she's actually also giving away one of her albums for free. All you have to do is cover the shipping. CarolineDareMusic.com. Caroline Dare on Facebook. Caroline Dare Music on Insta. And lastly, we have Echo, and he and his band do what they like to call heart hop. And it is rap, hip hop, alt rock, and just their own brand of craziness. When I was talking to my brother here before the show, I described it as Linkin Park gets smashed together with Hollywood Undead. It's a good time. It's a lot of fun. If you're into any of that kind of shit, definitely go check them out. They're on all platforms at echomusic.com. And before we close up our What's Poppin' segment, some honorary mentions in the poetry community. I had found this thing called Tuesday Poetry Practice, which is on smore.com, and it's at 11 a.m. They talk about how meditation goes hand in hand with poetry and how they can help one another, and I just thought it was cool. I found it. If you're into meditation and poetry, go check out Tuesday Poetry Practice. And then artfight.net, we've mentioned that on past episodes. It's a website where they get together and they basically have face-offs with whose art is better, and it's based on a point system. And then you had one person you wanted to touch on, Brendan, before we wrapped it up, I believe.
Yeah, Corey Jane Spalding. She's from Houston, Texas, and she actually has a couple of books out. I personally have two of them. One of them is Books Close, another is Opens Wounds, and then her newest one is Ajar, which is a combination of the two, plus a lot more content as well. She has a novel out called Behind the Picket Fence. That's in the genre of fiction. You can find her on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. She has over 2 million followers combined between all of them. I've been following her for a long time. She puts out some amazing work. She reads a lot of her stuff on those platforms as well. And yeah, definitely go check her out.
Yeah, she definitely piqued my interest. I'm definitely going to have to go look into her more. And you said you actually already own a couple of her books, so maybe you can lend me one of them sometime.
Yeah, by all means. I own Books Closed and Open Wounds. So definitely go check her out. You can also go to her website at CoreyJames.com where you can purchase all of her books. You can also get them on Amazon, but you can also donate to her or buy her a cup of coffee, as she puts it, to help.
Nice, nice. I like that. That's a good way of phrasing it. Anyway, the absolute last thing for our What's Poppin' segment is every other Saturday, our Lost Boys Cypher Circle full-length episodes, and then every Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern, our Lost Boys Cypher Circle What's Poppin' episodes. And that concludes our What's Poppin'